So I was sitting in a shul, minding my own business, eavesdropping on a conversation that was happening behind me. And the guys, I didn't, the reception wasn't so good, I couldn't hear everything that they were saying, so I'm not sure what they were talking about. But one of the guys says to the other guy, with a lot of feeling, he says to me, "Oh, no, don't bring me the hostages as an example. The hostages had Gili Elikus. That's not a good example." The hostages had Gili Elikus. The hostages had Gili Elikus. The hostages, Hashem showed himself to the hostages. That's not a good example. I don't know what they were talking about. I don't know what he was arguing about, or what he was rejecting the hostages to be used as an example of. But the simplicity with which he made that statement. Don't talk to me about the hostages. The hostages had Gili Elikus. God appeared to the hostages when they were in Gaza. It really touched me the way he said that, and it's so true. And these people, these men and women, who now are touring the Jewish world, rightfully so, and going around and talking to Yidden about Emunah and Bitachon and strength. Where they go, they bring Gili Elikus with them. Wherever they go, they bring this openness, the revelation of Hashem that they experienced over there in the darkness. They bring it with them wherever they go. It's impossible to exaggerate or to overstate the godless of these people, the greatness of these people, and it's worthwhile to note that these people were dafka not exceptional people before this happened to them, and the Gili Elikus that they experienced over there, which led to their unbelievable reaction. Any one of us who was there would have done the same thing. That means that every one of us has it in us to react to that kind of darkness with that kind of light. So these hostages, these freed hostages, one after another, is just a blinding light of Getlichkeit. It's unbelievable. How you have people who find themselves in the scariest, most frightening, most discouraging, most hopeless situation, and dafka there they start keeping Shabbos, and dafka there they start fasting on Yom Kippur, and dafka there they start talking to Hashem and close to Hashem. It's like everything we ever learned in yeshiva, everything we ever read, it all came alive in these people. One of them, his name is Bar Kupashti. He's going to be in Southern California. I think after Pesach he's going to be touring, he's going to be talking. I really hope to see him. His story is amazing. He just came out with a song. And he's put out a song with the guy that put out Od Yoter Tov. And in his song, I only heard it one time, and it's all in very quick rapping Ivrit, and I can't understand every word. But one thing he says is, Mishu Amarli, he's talking to Hashem, he says, Mishu Amarli she yesh li shlichut mimcha. Something to that effect. Someone told me that I have a shlichut, that I am on a shlichut from you, from Hashem. The psychologist that met these hostages when they came out, the Mossad psychologist, talked about them on Nachi Gordon's podcast, and talked about how these people fulfilled everything that Viktor Frankl wrote. That if you discover a purpose, you can survive any situation. And in fact, one of the hostages was telling the other hostages about this idea, about Viktor Frankl. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. The one who passed away. Hirsch was telling everybody about it, and they said that he strengthened them and he helped them to survive it. That if you know that you have a purpose, that you carry a purpose, if you know that there's a purpose that's depending on you, and whatever you're put through, the purpose will carry you through. If the Eibishter wants you to survive it, then you can survive it with your mind and your heart intact. And the psychologist said that most of the hostages who came out did not need extensive therapy because they did not find it as a trauma. They found it as an empowering experience. I would never say such a thing, but to hear the therapist say that, how can you not verbranden about such a thing?
Wow.
And that he asked every one of them, if you could go back to October 6th and not go to the festival, and not go to your in-laws for Yom Tov, to the kibbutz, and what would you do? And he says, nearly all of them said, I wouldn't change a thing, because before October 7th was the old me, and now this is the new me, and I like the new me better, and I wouldn't change a thing.
Wow.
In the IDF, they have an expression, and if there are any veterans here, you can correct me. The expression in English, it means attachment to the mission. Dveikut b'mesima. That no matter what's going on around you, if the plan gets shot to hell and everything's going crazy, dveikut b'mesima. Don't lose your head. Don't keep your eye on the ball. You have to stay true to the mission. The immediate mission, the larger mission. But that's only possible if you have a mesima. And people that never, it's a heartbreaking pity on people that feel in their life that they don't have any mesima, they don't have any mission. And this is what Bar says that he did. That he says he discovered in the Gaza that he's on a mission. He discovered that he's on a mission. He discovered how different he is from the people that were holding him, and what an amazing mission he has to spread this godliness to the world. And when at some point they separated, they took four of them. There were four of them together, and they said, "Okay, guys, choose one of them, and we're going to kill him. You guys choose. You guys choose one." And they said, "You guys choose." And here are the four guys, and if you don't choose, then we'll choose. And he says that he closed his eyes, and he says to the Eibishter, he says that I am not in there. Ani lo biyad, ani lo biyadam, ani biyadcha. Ani lo biyadam, ani biyadcha. Ani lo biyadam, ani biyadcha. I am not in their hands. I'm in your hands. Not in their hands. I'm in your hands. You talk about a person who discovered the essence of his neshama, the essence of everything that we talk about in shul during davening, everything that we shmooze about, everything that we fabring about, everything that we dream about. These people discovered it. It was handed to them, I wouldn't say on a silver platter, but on a different kind of platter. But they took it and they ran with it.
Yeah.
So if you feel like you have a mesima, if you feel like you have a mission, then you can get through anything. And all of the frightening pieces of news, and the good news, and the bad news, and the hard news, and the painful news, and the exciting news, and all of it, the ups and the downs, you can get through it because you're double mesima, you're completely attached to the mission. And the mission depends on you, and you feel the responsibility of the mission. When COVID started, the early days of COVID, which in New York, the early days of COVID was terribly, terribly destructive. It was very, very bad. Over here, Baruch Hashem, it was bad, but it never rose to the levels of terror that they were experiencing in New York in those first few weeks and months. And there were some Bachrim that went and interviewed Rabbi Yoel. Rabbi Yoel Khan. He was the Rebbe's foremost disciple. In Hasidic terminology, he was the Rebbe's chayzer. He was the one who would listen in the front and be able to repeat it to everybody so they could review the Farbrengen. He had an amazing memory and he had an amazing grasp, and he was my father's teacher, and he was a lot of Chassidim's teacher, and he was a giant of a man. He passed away not too long ago at a ripe old age.
What's the name again?
Yoel Khan.
Yoel?
Yoel. Rabbi Yoel Khan. So they came to him and they said to him, Rabbi Yoel, what do you say about this COVID? What do you say about this Mishagas, this pandemic? It's crazy. So Rabbi Yoel said to them, something like, what it is and why it is, I don't know. But one thing I can tell you, it's another step towards Dira B'Tachtonim. It's another step towards Dira B'Tachtonim. Because everything is another step towards Dira B'Tachtonim. Dira B'Tachtonim is what the Alter Rebbe writes, Tanya, the purpose of the creation of the world is that God wanted that with our partnership, He and us should have a home on earth. Also the Mikdash v'shachanti v'soicham, that He and us should dwell together on earth. And that the whole purpose of the life of every Jew and of all the world and everything that exists is to make the world a place where Hashem feels at home. And that happens through whatever circumstances Hashem puts you through, whatever business He puts you in, whatever people He brings you into contact with. You transform your corner of the world to be a place where Hashem is comfortable. And that's how you make a Dira B'Tachtonim. And everything that happens is developing towards that objective. Dira B'Tachtonim. So Rabbi Yoel, who had such a clear mind and such a focused head, he says, I don't understand it yet, what this pandemic is or where it came from. But one thing I'll tell you that you should hold on to. The world is not a jungle. Hashem is in control. And this is another step towards Dira B'Tachtonim. Towards the fulfillment of our Mishmar. That's our mission. To make the world a place like that. So this is the answer to the V'hishamda. That B'chol davar darem d'mlein chaleisenu. And what keeps us going? So the basic, elementary, simple answer is HaKadosh Baruch Hu saves us. They tried to kill us. Hashem saves us. Let's eat. But that's what we're taught in Cheder. That's what we're taught in school. You know, Hashem saved us. We were on the seashore, and the Egyptians were coming, and the ocean was in front of us, and Hashem saved us. But that is not the story of Jewish history. That we are helpless and Hashem has saved us over and over and over again. That's not the story. The story is about the partnership between us and Hashem. The story is not that Hashem saved us. The story is that Nachshon ben Aminadav, with his trust in Hashem, saved the Jewish people by walking into the water until his nostrils. So, in every generation they try to destroy us. And what saves us? Our mission, our sense of mission. Look at these hostages. What saved them? Not what saved them, the Gashmias. If Hashem decides that it's time to go, it's time to go. But you could be walking the earth and not living. What saved them so that now they're actually traveling the world, teaching free people who were never hostages in Gaza how to live healthier, better lives? They are teaching us. How did such a miracle take place? Dveikut b'Mesima, because they found a mission there. They found that they found that they're on a mission, and therefore they were purpose driven, and therefore they found meaning in every day. And what is the purpose of a Jew? What the purpose that they find? To make a Dira B'Tachtonim, to make a dwelling place for Hashem in the lowest worlds. And they were in the lowest of low worlds. They were in the lowest pits of the lowest world. In Gaza, in the tunnels, in the holes. And there they made a place where Hashem would come in to the tunnels and say, Hachi b'bayit ba'olam. I feel so at home. These people are fasting on Yom Kippur. These people are celebrating Shabbos and Yom Tif and learning Dvar Malchus. So what saves us in every generation is the fact that we remember that we are carrying a mission, an individual. And we as individuals have to remember this. And the phrase that sums it up is HaKadosh Baruch Hu Matzileinu Miyadam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu means HaKadosh, that which is Kadosh, that which is lofty and transcendent and holy and separate from the world, which is Hashem, godliness. Baruch, we have to bring it down. We have to bring Hashem down into our daily lives and our daily habits and our schedules. HaKadosh, bring that which is holy down. That's our mission. Dir b'tachtonim. So in every generation they threaten us, and in every generation we survive because we have a mission. Mordechai survived because he didn't forget his mission. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, although it's one of us, that's the way we refer to Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but beyond that, it means the mission that God gave us, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to bring that which is holy down here into the world. That's why we were sent here into this world. That's why we have birthdays. That's why we got born. That's why Hashem bothered us and took us away from our comfortable spot in heaven and pushed us out and brings us here and pushes us out of every comfortable situation, keeps on pushing us, and just when we get comfortable, he pushes us out again, because we have to make a dir b'tachtonim. That's our partnership, that's our job, that's our mission, that's our mesima. So the whole they always try to destroy us, but they can't destroy us because we are on a mission. You can't destroy people that are on a mission. You can't destroy the mission, and you can't destroy the people that are connected to that mission. So the whole our vision of what we're supposed to be doing, the way Bar and his friends discovered there. Like putting on tefillin is not a religious act. It's not something you do because that's what you were taught to do. You do it because it's the mission. This is the mission. Dveikut b'mesimat. Don't take your eyes off the goal. This is our objective. So l'chaim, Hashem should give us the strength to live our lives, our relatively easy lives, at least close to the caliber of the people who, like Bar and those people, should rise to their level. L'chaim, l'chaim.